Hello everyone, Salty here with another StarCraft 2 beta cast. This is one of the longest games I've ever played before, and it's going to be a lot of fun, I hope, for you and me. It's always great to watch these really close games and the really long games so that you can see what you did wrong and what your enemy did wrong and what kind of things you can do to improve your build. And you'll see in this game we both do a lot of stupid things and a lot of nice adaptations. The map is Scrap Station. Some things to note. Blizzard added a destructible debris field right here, so if you want to fast expand, it's actually very easy. All you have to do is hold off this one choke right here, and you can hold off both of those expansions. But I'm actually doing a build that I saw somebody use in another game. It's turtling up and then teching as quickly as possible to a mothership and just obliterating any kind of tier 1 or tier 2 units. You'll see it doesn't quite work out that way, and we'll speed things up a little bit here, just so we can get to the fun parts. You'll see that doesn't happen. Unfortunately, some things go wrong in this game, and that's why it ended up being 39 minutes long. But we'll cut this down, we'll speed up to the cool parts, and yeah, that's about it for right now. Something to keep in mind, I am going to be giving away a StarCraft 2 beta key, so if you're interested in that, stick around. I'll see exactly what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to have a raffle, but I'll announce that soon enough. Now, look at this Zealot I have coming up here. Just a quick chrono boosted Zealot so I can scout. I haven't scouted up in this point, which is pretty bad. And I did some really bad micro. I didn't expect him to have Zerglings and a Queen by then. I was just kind of trying to peek in. If I had scouted a lot earlier, I would have seen that spawning pool and even this Roach Warren, and I would have known way ahead of time he's getting some early units I should probably defend. And so now I finally see that I had to waste a Zealot to get to that point, and they get out just a Sentry so that I can force field off right here if I have to, and some cannons for static defense. Now look at this Overlord trying to sneak in here as Scout. I also put a pylon up here, and I'm eventually going to put some cannons here as well, just because if you look at the distance between these two bases, it's tiny. It's absolutely tiny, and if you get any kind of air, if you're not defending right here, you get a lot of issues with harassment, which is actually what I do to spam in this game, is just harass the crap out of him. I saw he was getting these early units, so I had to move a little bit away from that mothership build just so I can get units out quickly, and that's exactly what I do. I pump out Phoenixes. Now these are great units if you know how to use them. They can shoot while moving, they can pick enemies up with Graviton Beam and render them basically completely useless, and if you have multiple Phoenixes you can hold one up while the others shoot it down, and there's not much you can do against that unless you have a whole lot of units like Hydralisks or something like that. So if you're talking about harassment, you just fly a few Phoenixes into their base, pick a couple drones up at a time and just shoot them down, and that's exactly what I'm going to do with these Phoenixes once I get a few more. And we see Spam here moving up with some Roaches and Zerglings, and he's going to go straight into that wall of cannons, and he's going to back up. He realizes he doesn't have the force to go through a wall off with cannons helping defend that. And still nothing too exciting coming out right now. Continuing to get these Phoenixes. I have 700 minerals. That's pretty bad. You want to try and keep your mineral count below, I'd say 500 at the very most, just because you want to constantly be pumping out units of some sort, or at least teching. And now I do get these Phoenixes into his base. I pick up a drone, kill the drone. Now I'm hitting the Phoenix, but he's got a Hydralisk right here. And this is what I'm talking about. If you're not microing these guys really well, they can get picked off so easily. You really have to know what you're doing. You have to be moving all the time. I don't even get to kill this Phoenix, looks like or I don't get to kill this Queen. I just have one Phoenix left. He can't do anything while he's picking her up, so all three of my Phoenixes die for one drone, and I think I killed an Overlord through all that too, so that really wasn't worth it. He's transitioned to Hydras now because I hit way too early. He's seen that I have air, and he's moving into the Hydras. So, bad move on my part. Now, I finally have 2 Stargates up. I can start double producing units. I'm still running off one base, whereas it looks like Spam just started expanding at his second base. He's going to start saturating those minerals. Getting Phoenixes, once again. If I can micro them well, they're a great unit. And we'll speed this up a little bit because it's going to go... We're both macroing up at this point, trying to get as big of an army as we can. I throw down some gateways, and a robo facility. This is almost a complete waste of my minerals because you'll see I don't make that many units. You know, I'm researching warp gate, which will let me put units anywhere that my pylons can reach, so that'll be helpful. But you can see I have 3 gateways here. Nothing is producing at the moment. They're basically not worth me even making at this point. I should have just made another Stargate and pumped out a couple more carriers, which you can see I now have carriers, and I do expand up here to this island. Oh, I think we'll come back to that in just a second. It looks like Spam might be moving up. No, he's just scouting. That's another good thing. If you don't scout on this map, you can expand like I was showing you to this island right here where I have these cannons. And, oh, there we go, finally, Spam's moving up. I bring these zealots down. I don't know why. I should have kept them real close to my cannons. So all my zealots and those stalkers going down. And he's got a couple roaches up here just doing nothing. And here we go, there's my pushback. A couple phoenixes and some carriers. Now these carriers, once they get those units out, those little interceptors, they can do a real nice amount of damage, but if they get into a fight too early and they don't have any kind of interceptors out, you're in trouble. But now look at this. That's how you use a Phoenix. Pick up the ones that can hurt you, pick up the Hydralisks, and just snipe them out one by one. All of his Hydras are either dead or gone at this point. All he has left is roaches, which can't attack air at all, so these guys are completely vulnerable. Nothing they can do. These carriers just going to work on them. And now look at this. 3 Phoenixes still coming in, shooting them down one by one. He does have a lot of Hydras back at his base with some Zerglings, and he's continuing to produce Hydras while this entire fight is going on. So we're both macroing pretty hard still, both producing units. We're both using Chrono Boost and our Puke, and so it's a really good game for both of us right now. I finally started microing those Phoenixes better, so I did come back in the game real hard and real fast. Now we're gonna see these guys move out pretty quick here. Let's see what we do. Yep, there we go. Phoenix is moving up to these drones. Now I'm gonna be able to do some decent damage, taking out that queen real fast. He has a ton of Hydras right here. Look at how many Hydras that is. And there's just not much I can do against that. That's like a wall of anti-air coming at you. I should have gotten those Phoenixes and those carriers out a long time ago. They can't do anything against these Hydras. And I micro, again, both of us do terrible things on this map. I'm microing them all the way up north here. I should have just gone straight east and off of that cliffside. So he takes out all of my Phoenixes and all my carriers. It just went from completely in my favor to completely in his favor once again. And now I switch, I see, okay, he's got Hydras, I'm going to have to do some more damage, and those carriers obviously aren't doing enough, so I'm going to pump out a bunch of Void Rays at this point. And I'm still not saturating this expansion as much as I should be. I should have a lot more probes here, and look at that, I actually take this Warp Prism, and I'm going to move him down here because my main base is completely mined out. I had so many probes just soaking minerals the entire map that I'm completely mined out. Whereas Spam, he's still got a ton of minerals at his main, and he's expanded here, so he's got probably about double the income that I do right now. And finally getting some Void Rays in here. I take this Warp Prism, I'm sending him way down south. And here's Spam's army just hiding in the smoke, waiting to attack. And here they come, pushing out. And he backs off and he moves up. I like this. Now, watch this. This sentry actually puts a force field down at the ramp. So it's going to actually ward off this attack because it split his forces, at least partially. And that's going to help a lot in the long game. And we'll be back for the next part in just a moment.